Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello, and welcome back to our fifth and final day of the week-long Breaking Ties interview series, where we talk with a professional who assists those getting through the divorce process, but more specifically this week, it's after the divorce process for most of us and dating. And we're going to go through common questions like we've done all week. And if you haven't been with us all week, I encourage you to go back and check out the other episodes because every day has a new set of questions. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And with me today is Patti Warsaski. And Patti is a dating coach and the owner of A-Game Dating Coaching for Men and Women. And she's really shared some fantastic information this week. And Patti, I really appreciate that. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mike.
So as we look at the end of the week here, and we've kind of progressed through the dating scene over the course of the week, and you provided some great tips and tidbits and information for people to use and leverage. It's been fantastic. I want to kind of hit on what are some common mistakes to avoid when dating after divorce in general?
Dating too soon is probably right up there in my top three. Dating too soon. I know everybody wants to move on, and eventually everybody will, but it is something to do at your own pace that you're comfortable with. If you try it and it doesn't work for you, take a break from it. Revisit it when you think you might be in a better either headspace or the timing might be better with other things that you've got going on in your life.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the too soon thing is definitely very challenging. It's great to go ahead and get back out there, but at the same time, have you really rediscovered yourself? Have you really figured out what you would like from a relationship? And I think you've covered that really well this week on putting the emphasis on you as an individual.
Yes, absolutely. Dating can be scary. So I don't want to overlook that fact as much as I am a very positive person about people getting back out there. And I love helping them, whether it's with their confidence building or with image consulting or helping them know how to overcome objections, or just helping them kind of bring themselves up to speed because maybe the last time they went on a date was 32 years ago. I really enjoy that. But I do think that at every point, or like we talked about online dating too, at every point, there's a little bit of something to learn because as we said before, we're always evolving. We're all works in progress. So pick up a little something as you go along this process, or else it'll be a hard process to go through. If you're closed-minded to new things, it will be very hard to get back into the dating world.
Right, exactly. And so, for our listeners, over the course of the week, I've shared that, Patti, let's go with Patti.
Okay.
Was my dating coach. And helped me with reaching my girlfriend of a number of years and actually just being happy in that. And so the service that she provides is actually well thought out and actually forward driven for you, the coaching client kind of thing. But I remember, one of the things that really sticks into my mind back when Amy and I started dating was when I shared an experience I had when we went on our first date, and that was how time seemed to just slow down.
I remember.
And I didn't really have a term for it.
You said you felt like you were in a bubble, like your own bubble, the two of you.
A time bubble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I felt like, we were out for a couple hours, but it felt like 4, 6, 8 hours. I mean, like it felt like a long time, but not a lot of time has passed. But
it felt like a long time in a good way. In
a great way.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it was just one of those things I had never experienced before. And they happen still off and on,
I love hearing that.
depending on, where we're at and what we're doing, where time just stretches and you just enjoy every moment. And you're kind of thinking like this thing's going to wrap, like we're running out of time, and you check your clock and you're like, wow, gosh, it's only been like 10 minutes, but it's felt like 2 hours of just quality time that you spent together. And so for me, part of it was learning just some of that compatibility and synergy that you have with the other person.
Right, right. Because you look for that, and really, coming out of a relationship that culminates in divorce, uh, you're usually a person that has spent the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending on your situation, where your previous partner, your spouse, you had a different dynamic, than you have with somebody new come into your life, because maybe the dynamic has just broken down in the marriage, and that leads it to divorce. So there's not a lot of compliment giving. There's not a lot of praise. There's not a lot of smiling and laughing and enjoying activities together. That kind of has fallen by the wayside, and that's why you're in the divorce situation. So when you meet somebody new, as Mike did with Amy, and I know Amy, and she is an absolute doll, you now are learning to navigate a new dynamic or a new way of existing with another person. Because, like when you met Amy, or somebody will meet somebody else, you get into those wonderful time bubbles, and like you're in your own little world, and there's no fighting there. There's no, making decisions about kids and futures and college and finances. And it just, there's so much heat off of you, and you can really just focus on who you are and who the other person is. And that is something that I really like to share with people, that shut that part out. Shut that part out when you are meeting somebody new. If Mike had not shut that part out of his existence in the dating world, if he just kept thinking about whatever it was that created a divorce situation for him, he would have been in that same situation on that same date with Amy, but he wouldn't have been present for that moment. And same with Amy. They were present, and they were there for each other, and they were able to just enjoy each other. And that's why I said what I said yesterday about the first date tips. Don't bring your exes on the date. Don't talk about your exes, and certainly not more than necessary. You will not find yourself in that feeling of, I don't know, how would you describe it? Just kind of a almost surreal like happiness.
Right.
If
Yeah.
it's any more than just the two people that are on that date. And you guys are fully able to immerse yourselves in getting to know each other. And that's so key. That's so key. And don't even talk about your people at work that are a pain in the butt. Don't talk about your job that you dislike or projects that you have coming up. Shut that all out. Just give yourselves permission to just enjoy each other. And it becomes a lot easier too, from coming out of another relationship, to learn how to engage with another person on a level that's not the level you engaged in with your spouse. If you had a spouse that always wanted to, be combative, and you're now on a date with somebody that's not combative, don't react defensively. Realize that you don't have to be the person that you were. Mike talks about the new chapter. I like to say, don't build your new house with the bricks from your old house. And it's just a nice existence when you can focus on what's new and what's coming and what to anticipate. These guys sure did, and it worked out wonderfully. I just like to remind people to remember that the dating is for you now. It's not for your past. The dating is for your future.
Yeah. And those are some killer final thoughts right there. I mean, that was really well put together, Patty. And I know I appreciated your services. And if our listeners feel like, Patty's coaching services are for them, you have more personal questions, or you're looking for pointers and tips and things that are very, specific to you, I recommend you don't hesitate. You reach out to Patty, you let her give you a hand. look at her services and what she offers. There's a whole lot out there, and that information is going to be in the description. So you're able to then reach out to her and make sure, that both you and Patti are a good fit for her coaching services.
Right. And I don't, I, as much as I love to share my experiences and learning, I can't do like a Dear Abby thing with just, back and forth ping ponging questions. But what I could do is, and I do, is sit down, have a consultation, see if we're a really good fit for someone's needs, if I'm a good fit for them as a coach. And then we move on from there. I do have a website that does outline some packages, but I do a lot of custom packages because not everybody might need everything in a bundled deal. So I can certainly listen to what you have to say, listen to your concerns, see what your goals are, and just help you best achieve them by setting something up that will work for you, both time and different services. We can a la carte things and put them together to make something great to get you on your way to.
Absolutely. And with today's technology, I mean, you're just a Zoom meeting away from getting somebody. You don't actually have to be way out there on, in person or anything like that. Just, you don't have to be completely local. So this is actually going to end our week-long interview series with Patti. If you haven't seen the previous days, I really encourage you to go check out the rest of the episodes from this series. I mean, the information was absolutely fantastic. And we're going to sign off for the last time today. Patti and I would like to thank you for joining us all week. We appreciate you, viewers.
Yes.
And this has been the Breaking Ties interview series. And like I said before, if you feel Patti's coaching services are for you, then go ahead and check out her information in the description. She's always happy to work with lots of people. And divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And we'll see you on the next episode of the podcast.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much, Mike. Thank
You're
you.
welcome,
Bye-bye,
Patti.
everyone.
Have a great day.
You too.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? With Mike Fulkerson. For questions, please reach out to Mike via email in the description or give him a shout at 630-444-1410. And remember to subscribe, like, and follow.